a bit hot in here.
Do you want some more cold?
No.
How do you do less cold?
Emmy's like, yeah, I'm a gas.
And we're live.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Talk It Out. This is our third podcast. It means the same thing. So this is our third time seeing all of you wonderful people out there in Streamland and online, and we have a funny show. And when I say funny, I mean comedy. Now, the reason why I say that, this evening I have the pleasure to introduce two amazingly beautiful, funny ladies that I had the pleasure to meet just this evening. Our local Montreal comedians, Abby Stonehouse and Michelle Dominic. Dominic?
Just Michelle.
Just Michelle. We won't go any further than that. So, Michelle. And it's very hot out here today.
It's very humid.
We're bringing, basically, Michelle and Abby are the founders and creators of a spectacular outdoor form of comedic entertainment called Lawn Laughs. I will have each Abby and Michelle, I don't know why I'm speaking so eloquently, I'll have them explain what it exactly it is in terms of what they do and what this amazing show that I think everybody should be booking this summer because we're out and about as always.
Yes.
So without further ado, we will begin with our questions. So guys, can someone learn to be funny on stage?
I definitely think so.
Sweet, I have hope. Okay, go on.
They can definitely get funnier. I think. So I definitely think that there's a lot of learning that happens when you perform on stage. So when you get on stage, you can have your material prep, but it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
And what you think is funny, the audience might not. So there's always learning that happens.
On stage is not always what's funny off stage, and vice versa. You can be funny in conversation.
Yeah.
You go on stage. There's a lot of technical stuff that you don't necessarily clue in on right away. I studied theater, so that was my background initially. And there were so many things that was you would have no idea how it was coming across unless somebody told you you're not loud enough, you're not clear enough, your body language is closed off, things like that just from an audience perspective, they're seeing it differently than you're feeling.
They're being anal.
Exactly.
They're being anal. Yeah.
So there's definitely so much to learn, but I think that a lot of people that get on stage, there is something there that's driving them. There's something there that there's some talent there, and there's a certain amount of evaluating the material or self-reflection, which is a scary word.
Yeah, it is. I don't want to self-reflect.
Yeah. So you go on stage, you try things out, you see if it works, and then you try it again and you switch it up. And
you gotta be so humble in a way.
You
gotta hate yourself a little bit.
Oh my God. So what inspired you guys to do Lawn Laughs, to create it?
Yeah. Go ahead, Abby.
So last year, after the first lockdown from March to July or whatever, stand-up comedy was at a complete standstill. We couldn't we perform mostly in bars, and obviously that was just not happening. So our passion was just put at a halt. And when things started to open back up, which was great, we saw that there was very few opportunities for us to perform or produce comedy, and also audience members that would come flock to shows before were very hesitant. Understandably, it was risky to go out. So we just saw this opportunity to go perform comedy for people.
Nice.
Go to the people's backyard, in a small environment, a safe environment. We also were definitely inspired by other comedians in other provinces performing.
Sorry, mosquito.
Other comedians in other provinces doing very similar things, going to people's backyards. So that's when I approached Michelle in about July last year. I'm like, hey, what do you think of this? I think we could do it. So that's how it all got started.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
It's
it's so
interesting.
much fun. The one thing that I've noticed now, I'm happy that we're doing it, obviously, but in terms of other people in other provinces, Montreal is obviously a big city.
Yeah.
there's not like a ton of backyards downtown,
No.
you know what I mean? So we do a lot of suburbs, but like there's I think Fire Pit Comedy Tour is in Edmonton.
Yeah.
And like that's just it's a lot of land.
Oh yeah.
They got a lot more opportunities out there, but it makes you think too, like there's, how are you going to adapt to different things like that? Like I think we were before we started filming, we were talking about condos.
And Abby said, we've done it in condos. And I said, wait a second. That's a different conversation.
Anyway, it's been an interesting journey since. But yeah, it was Abby's idea initially, and she approached me about it, and I thought, that sounds fun. I wish I had a backyard. I don't even have a balcony.
Oh.
Aw. I have a rooftop. Maybe we could do some rooftop shows.
Yeah.
There you go.
Might be fun.
Yes, we're very adaptable.
Yeah, we can do anything.
Sweet. So how'd you guys meet? I'm interested. I think everybody else is here too.
We've actually never met.
we
met tonight. So.
We met tonight.
I thought you guys looked familiar.
Well, we met through comedy. We're both stand-up comedians. Michelle started comedy, you said, in 2017.
2018.
2018.
Yeah.
I had a bit, but I remember 2018.
Yeah. So I'd been doing comedy for a little bit, and then she joined the scene, and we just met that way. But so we definitely got closer last year because of Lawn Laughs, and it's a great partnership.
Oh yeah, we work very, very well together.
Yes.
And she just recently moved in across the street from me. So.
Well, you know what? When you guys showed up tonight, I was thinking I was seeing double because I find you guys look exactly alike.
This blows my mind. I don't get it. I have blonde hair. Yes, we both have light.
I don't know. I've never heard that before.
You guys, I was like, wow, they must be sisters.
No.
I was looking at twins. That's what you said.
Yeah, I said I was looking at twins, and you guys looked at me as if I was
I've never heard that before.
No,
never.
No.
But there's a first for everything.
Yes, we can do an act together now.
That's it. We'll do a duo.
Who's who? Who's Michelle? Who's Abby? I don't know.
And it's only gonna be you who's confused.
Yeah, you're our only audience member. It'll.
Oh man.
Honestly, I think you guys are exceptionally funny, and when we were talking, we're starting to learn about a bit of each other. Well, you break the ice, so to speak. And like I said, I think you guys have a very interesting concept here, and how you choose your comedians and how you formulate, your shows and what you do. What can somebody expect, let's say they rent a comedian? How do you know, or a comedy show or whatever?
Well, when they hire us.
Yeah, they hire, exactly.
That's how we should hire
Sorry,
comedians.
I meant hire.
Rent a comic.
It's really
awesome.
humid. So let's say, for example, they hire you guys for a show, let's say a lawn show. How do you know how many comedians to bring on, how to set up?
Yeah, so when somebody reaches out to us, it's always a discussion at first. We have a standard format that's typically 75 minutes.
Okay.
And that's, a certain price, and then we have other lengths available for other prices, and we kind of negotiate a little bit with the person depending on what it is they're looking for. And so if we're doing 75 minutes, what we like to do, depending on the show, but typically what we do is we have a host, and then we have 2 to 3 opening acts, and then we have a headliner.
Yeah.
So that's our go-to. If we have a shorter show, then we'll have fewer openers, and if it's a 45-minute show, sometimes we'll just do host headliner.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that'll be depending on what they're looking for. And also it'll depend, we ask other things too. Do you have kids? Or they're going to be pets? Or they're going to be, what's going on?
What's the event? It's a 7-year-old birthday party that is a huge Habs fan.
Yeah.
So we kind of tailor it because we get to know, we know the comedy scene quite well.
Yeah.
We know the comedians in the scene.
Yeah.
And so we kind of develop a lineup that way.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever encounter any difficulties, let's say, when you're doing a show?
Yes.
Something interesting.
Yes, we do.
Oh, I want to hear this.
Michelle and I produce a lot of shows outside of Lawn Laughs, and there's always a certain amount of unpredictability to
you
it.
never know.
But with Lawn Laughs, there's definitely different
unpredictability
to it because you're in these people's backyard. It's an intimate experience.
Well, one thing being weather too, right?
Yes.
Just to start with the fact that it's outdoors. That's a huge thing. Is it going to rain?
Our first question when when can we book it and what happens when it rains? Like that's
Yeah.
like the second question everyone asks.
That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So
Yeah.
we definitely plan around that, and then there's also unpredictability of like, you know, grandma is very vocal tonight,
Yeah.
or has
it's-
had
it's
one too
funny,
many
though.
rum and cokes, and
But that's kind of what we like about it almost.
Yeah.
Like, I don't love heckling, I'll say that.
No.
But I it's that intimacy and that comfort level that makes it so special. But then
Yeah.
it does definitely come with, you know, grandma's had too much to drink or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a kind of a gift and a curse, if you want.
but it definitely often works out. There's definitely comedians that thrive off of that
Yeah.
like crowd work, that's what they call it. And I mean, we had a show a couple weeks ago where the headliner loves crowd work.
Yeah.
And before the show, he came up to me, he's like, have you been paid for it? And I was like, yeah, we've been paid. He's like, game on then.
Oh.
And then he just like
He
ripped
went to
into the
town.
crowd, and like
an
so
absolute
it was
treat.
it was really, really, really great
Oh,
to see.
sweet. Yeah,
But then there's other comedians that like to
very
not
scripted, yeah,
interact
totally.
with the crowd. So
I think we lean towards, especially for our headliners and for a host, it's always, I think, important that they're comfortable with crowd work,
Yeah.
because you are very engaging with the audience
Yeah.
in that sense.
Yeah.
We lean towards headliners who are professional enough that even if their material is very scripted,
Yeah.
that they can be kind of cut off or interrupted,
Oh, yeah.
and then still find their way back.
Oh
know,
yeah,
it's important
yeah,
to have that level
yeah.
of
That comes
professionalism.
with like
Experience,
like
time,
experience and time.
Totally.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
So how do you do you audition? How do you choose your comedians?
No.
Whoever pays us the
Dun, dun,
most.
dun. Who's answering this one? Who's the taker?
So we know the scene very, very well. The English Montreal comedy scene is not very big. It's mighty though. We're good. We know what we're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
We're very familiar with these comedians because we go, we do shows all over the city all the time, and we see them everywhere. So we could practically tell their jokes,
Yeah, yeah.
So you just know who you're dealing with, and you know who's available and who's professional, who's reliable, who's funny, who's
Yeah.
Nice.
So you
Yeah.
can pick from the sea of people that you've come to know and hopefully trust, and you can kind of just avoid those who you maybe don't trust quite as much, or don't know, or don't have ways to go maybe before.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
We won't get into it.
No names. No names.
No names. No names.
You're all fantastic.
Everybody's
No.
perfect.
Everyone's
Actually.
great.
See,
Everyone's
We're
great.
perfect.
Yeah, no, I think so.
I don't know about them, but we're perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
Oh, definitely.
I'm perfect. That's Lewis, everybody. JJ,
today.
our
The
studio.
amazing
Not
Lewis.
today.
Not today. No, this is awesome. We're
going
sweltering in heat,
Yeah, it's
and we're
really hot.
loving it.
We're all gonna jump into
It's
the
the rum.
pool right
It's the
after
rum.
this.
It's getting to me. I won't stop. I won't stop.
I won't stop, I tell you. So you were saying that you also had other work and projects that you work on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I perform at other people's shows all the time.
Yeah.
And I also have a show that I produce. It's called Get Fucked, and it's a
Woo! What? That is Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Like, when's that on?
it's a monthly
Cheers.
No pun intended. Okay, go ahead.
It's a show where comedians tell stories and jokes about how life screwed them over for better or for worse, or they just talk about getting fucked or having sex.
Having
Wow.
sex in a condo. To be specific.
In a condo.
Oh my.
People don't actually have sex on the show.
No,
just
not
so-
yet.
Guys,
Not yet.
not
We'll
yet.
see what
Or
Or
happens.
maybe
in
we're
the
gearing
future.
up to that.
That's season 2.
Yeah.
Explicit
In a few months, well, maybe that'll be
Yeah.
our headline.
We gotta get the license to do that.
Yeah.
You need a license to do that?
Oh no.
I'll look into that. I'll look.
Yeah.
We'll talk after the show.
Oh boy, things getting heated up.
Yeah, so Get Fucked is a monthly show. Right now it's at the Diving Bell Social Club, which is on Saint Laurent. Downtown, and next month, you guys are hearing it first, is going to be on August 20th, so check that out.
Oh, sweet. I am so going.
All right, then.
Yeah. Louis is going too.
Oh, yeah, the whole gang,
Yes,
eh?
it is.
Yeah.
All right. That's how it is.
I don't think they heard the show. Did you guys hear the show?
Good fun.
Get fucked.
Get fucked.
You like
You
that?
heard it, eh? I don't think Vanny heard it. There you go.
He doesn't listen to curse words, okay?
You. All right. So, and my next question:
Yes.
what qualities do the comedians have, or do other comedians have that you admire?
Oh.
None. No.
Absolutely zero.
It's
Question
just me.
four.
No redeeming qualities. We were the best ones out there.
Yeah, it's just us. Only us are funny. Everyone else can suck it.
I guess. I mean, because being 4 years in, I'm getting better at it. But crowd working is
Oh my God, it's brilliant. Yeah.
It is such a brilliant skill to develop, and it's a lot of improv, and it's a muscle that you sort of you have to hound on and work on. And when improv or crowd working is done well, it's
Brilliant.
absolutely fucking magical.
Yeah.
Like Joey Elias, he
Yeah.
only, I don't even know if he's ever written a joke.
I've never seen him do the same set.
It's all crowd work.
Yeah.
And it's always like seamless and just so funny. And like, well, I won't, never mind. But no, it's
Take it.
like
Come
a
on,
perfect-
Michelle, you gotta tell us.
I can't. Let's give it. But he's a perfect example of like flawless crowd work where it's just like the whole show can be that if you're that good at it, you know?
Yeah.
You're just funny is the idea,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, and or like you kind of hone
charming.
in on certain things that you see in the crowd,
Yeah.
behaviors that like a table is having,
Yeah.
and then they call back to it after in the
it's
show.
like perfect control of the room, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like in a way that's like non-threatening, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's very, I don't know. Everybody
Sometimes
gets
it can
relaxed.
seem threatening.
It
like,
can, yeah, and sometimes it can get out of hand. That's the delicate thing is you don't want to lose the audience, right? Like you want to kind of walk that line of like I'm making fun of you, having fun with you,
Yeah.
and I'm not pissing anybody off. Like that's, if you say the wrong thing and then the crowd doesn't like you anymore, it's very difficult to get them back on your side. That's like
my
a super
God.
delicate.
Yeah, and there's such an amount of like fearlessness to it. You're just like going
Confidence,
to it and
100%,
reading
yeah.
the room.
Yeah.
So I definitely will and want to develop that.
Yeah.
As my
me
comedy
too.
career continues, for sure.
Now, have any of the local, or I would say lesser known, I don't know if we're able to say that, but
No. I think so. I think it's okay.
is it okay? I don't know. I don't want to
Lesser
be like, I don't want hate mail from comedians, although it'll probably be funny.
Well written.
Well written and comedic. When a comedian approaches you, what is something that you look for, let's say?
I mean, it's hard to say that they
Like to
approach
book
us.
them?
We don't really audition anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the only time that it'll be not even an audition process, but like to be approached by a comedian, because it does happen that comedians that we wouldn't necessarily hire ask to be on the show.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of a delicate thing where you're like,
Yeah.
maybe. But if there's, comedians who are out of town and we don't know who they are, they'll send us a message. They'll be like, hey, like I know you're the co-producers of Law and Laughs or producers of Get Fucked or other shows.
Yeah.
So the vetting process there is typically the person will send you a video of their stand-up, so you'll have a sense of how well they do. And because everybody knows everybody, whether it be in Ontario or here, you can ask other people, like, is this person reliable? Are they funny? Do they work well with others? That kind of thing. So you can get a really good sense of what's...
Your producers are shitting their pants right now because there's someone mowing their lawn. I think I made it stop.
Let's go get him, guys. Let's go get him live.
That's okay.
That's the joys of having it live. It's okay. We'll
okay.
make it work.
It's humid and there's ambient music.
Yeah.
Actually, there is ambient music.
We can go get them. I don't mind. If you guys want to take a break, I'll go kill them.
She didn't mean that literally, guys.
No. Ha, funny. It's a joke.
Lawn laughs. We're on a lawn.
They're mowing a lawn.
This is
It's all part of
the
it.
same sort of unpredictability sometimes that our lawn
Actually,
laugh
this is
shows.
what
exactly.
it is. The
Yeah.
neighbor is getting his lawn ready for
lawn
for
laughs.
lawn laughs.
For
Yeah.
us.
He doesn't even know it
This
yet.
is
but
okay.
that's-
He doesn't
Have
know
another
it.
rum and coke. Have another rum and coke. You'll be
boy.
okay.
Augure salute. There you go.
Oh, man. I had a lawn briefly and never mowed it once. And then I moved out and I was like, and I'll never mow it. Like,
See, that's why people get pools.
yeah.
Because
it's
you
less
get rid
lawn.
of like
Why do you
3/4 of the lawn.
Yeah.
It should be pavement this whole way. Like,
Yeah. All
you don't
pavement
need
all the
lawn.
time.
Come on.
Oh,
An
we're
apartment.
sending in the troops.
Oh,
we're
Oh,
sending
boy,
in the
oh,
troops.
boy.
There he goes.
I'm glad I don't
He
live
looks like that guy from Tim Allen. You know the
yeah.
what's his name there? The neighbor?
I don't know.
If you fall in the pool, I swear to God, I'm gonna crack such a laugh. Honestly. He's waving.
He's like, hey, can you shut up?
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so that was the intermission, guys. Now we're getting back into the show.
Yes.
So I have a particular question for you girls because you guys are, or girls rather, you're comedians. What is the difference between trying to write a joke and develop stand-up comedy material?
Well,
I hear crickets.
Good question.
well,
I think
you.
a lot of it has to do.
One more minute and then you go.
okay.
One more minute.
I just
Or else it comes out.
Oh yeah, real impressive.
The gun show's coming out.
the guns are coming out.
Just the guns. That's
Just-
it. Yeah.
Well, to answer your question,
Yes.
The question.
don't bring it back. That guy can mow his lawn. It's fine.
Just mow the lawn, sir.
It smells of
done.
grass.
Let's do it.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I definitely think there is a difference between when I write my jokes in my notebook or my notes app than actually performing. There's definitely
Yeah,
a whole
totally.
process there.
Yeah.
There's a certain amount of things that I can't predict that'll happen. And with practice, you can guess, like you can be like, okay, I'm gonna have my cadence there, I'm gonna have a pause there,
Yeah.
certain things that you can
Totally.
do. But
And
it-
even so, it's a bit of a gamble, but you
Yeah.
have a much better idea.
yeah, and I think at the beginning when you're doing comedy, you're just like, I don't think I ever stopped for anyone to laugh. I was just like, blah, 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 and then
Yeah.
Wow, I would laugh at that.
Relaxed
and then,
up there.
but now, like when I'm writing, I know like how to structure a joke a certain way. So that takes practice. So there is a difference between stand-up comedy material
Telling
and
jokes,
writing,
yeah.
but you can sort of it sort of blends together eventually.
Yeah.
But then there's always working on it and
Yeah,
crafting
there's a
it.
huge amount
Yeah.
of like honing your skills that
Yeah.
I think comes into play. But like Abby was saying, it's true that you're the first time that you go up there, you maybe anticipate like,
Yeah.
oh, this is gonna be funny,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then you get
this
up
is
there,
people are gonna be on
they're
the
gonna
fucking
love
floor.
it. Wait till they hear me say this. But
Yeah.
then it's like nobody gives a shit. Like,
Everybody's like,
really
yeah.
bad. And when you're new, you're typically more nervous,
So
and you don't
nervous.
leave space.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of rushed tone, like no one
Yeah.
even has a chance to process what you said. So
Yeah.
that's a huge thing as well.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I think like some things that are funny, to read or to
Yeah.
say in conversation are just not funny on stage. Like
That's-
there's a mystery there. Like
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't say
Oh,
what
yeah.
it is exactly. Like
And-
some things just aren't funny
Yeah.
during a stand-up set,
Yeah.
and they'd be hilarious at a dinner party. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And then it also depends on the audience. So like
Yeah.
when like there's hopefully you can tailor your material when you're up there and you're seeing that this material is not working well. So you sort of like
Yeah,
maybe
adapt.
okay, I'm gonna go to something else because
Yeah.
they're not liking this. So that comes with like time and experience. But what was I trying to get to? But yes.
You didn't even drink.
That's it. We
Yeah.
need a refill for mic number 3.
Oh boy.
But I definitely think that like Michelle was saying that some material doesn't
Thanks, Louis.
Thank
definitely
you, Liz.
doesn't translate on stage, but
Yeah.
then like it depends on the audience. That's what I was
Depends
going
on the
to.
audience.
Depends
There
on
you
the
go.
audience. So some audiences you'll kill at, and then you'll go to a next
Yeah.
room and you're like, oh, they hated that completely.
Oh,
It doesn't
yeah.
mean the joke is
And like
bad.
slight variations in your own mood.
oh,
Yeah.
in
will
your own
drastically
mood
shift how
and
things go.
Really?
Absolutely.
the speed of what you're saying something, and like when you
100%.
pause somewhere.
Ooh, this sounds heavy.
It's such-
It's
it's such a-
alarmingly technical. I think.
It's alarmingly technical for sure, and then there's also a comedic style that is storytelling, and that
it's
you
more
don't
what I
ex-
do. I think.
Yeah,
a little bit more.
yeah, and like storytelling is fucking great. There's
Yeah.
like
I love it.
there's so many comedians doing that you can't expect like there to be a punchline every like 10
Yeah,
seconds.
exactly. And I
right?
think for storytelling, it is more. It's almost more important that you have like a good energy.
Yeah.
yes,
Versus like
Yes.
having your exact wording down. Like there's a story that I like to do. and I'm very comfortable telling it because it's a true story.
Okay.
So I know what's gonna happen. So I don't worry about what I'm gonna say. I know where I'm going with it. So there's like a degree of comfort there, and it becomes like less technical almost because it doesn't matter as much, and we're all hanging out, and it's fine. So there's like depending on your style, it'll shift how you approach it and what works and what doesn't work. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
So how do you know what material to bring to what show? Like, how do you formulate?
Just say a little prayer and then you.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, for what's great about Lawn Laughs is that we sort of get to know the hosts before, and we get a sense. We try to ask whether they're good with like dirty material or like not clean.
They encourage it. Like,
a lot of them are just
vulgar,
like
the
bring
better.
it.
I love it.
A lot of them are like bring it the fuck on. And,
Woo! I love those
Just
parties.
terminate us.
Yeah.
Finish him.
And then there are some that like, it is like a diverse audience. Maybe like they might
kids
not be
present,
accepting
Yeah.
of some things. So that's when we like, as a comedian, you can sort of like, okay, I'm gonna say more of my cleaner jokes.
Yeah.
And then not like my jokes about like, I don't know,
Fucking
vibrators
condos,
or
yeah.
something.
That's an interesting show.
And then there's also, I mean, there's again a certain amount of unpredictability if you're like doing stand-up at like a venue. You don't know what the audience is gonna be. It could be like a whole audience of like 40-year-olds, or they could be like 6-year-olds, or it could be university
10-year-olds.
students.
Yeah.
So that's kind of that's what I love about comedy a little bit. It's just like it kind of keeps you on your toes a little bit.
Yeah, and there's a difference between like a corporate show and then a bar show.
Yeah.
At a bar show, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
those.
But at a corporate show, often there are guidelines or rules. It's like you shouldn't swear, or you shouldn't cover like these topics.
We don't go to those.
Yeah, we don't have those. That's not for us. That's for those boring folks.
No, we
No. We like them. We like the amount that they pay.
Yes.
Those are sometimes on the line.
Yeah.
But in terms of, let's say, for example, I mean, I know this has never happened to you guys, but let's say you have like the crazy granny or somebody that's just not laughing. What do you do?
You just exterminate them immediately, and then you carry on.
We throw them in the pool or to that guy who
You ask them to leave, and you say, "Come back when you're ready to have fun." Like, this is supposed to be fun. No.
out of here.
I mean, you could always like engage with them a little bit. You can
try to push it.
You
a little
can
bit.
engage with them a little bit and like see how they're doing, and like some people just don't laugh audibly. Some people just don't like.
How does that work?
I don't know.
Not
They
laughing, you can also just let it go and like address the rest of the audience.
A lot
I'm
of
not gonna cater myself.
focus on someone else.
And you never know. Like sometimes people are uncomfortable. I think if they're sitting too close to the comedian. Like I don't sit when I go to comedy shows. I sit so far back that I'm practically at home. Like don't look at me. Don't anything.
Don't
talk.
interact.
And if I was like visible, I would feel too uncomfortable to like laugh even.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to be here. Like, so I think some people it's just they express their enjoyment differently.
Yeah,
And you have to be
I
accommodating.
definitely like, and we see these people that like I guess there's an element of them being nervous or just like this is just how they enjoy.
Quiet
They're just
people,
like
yeah.
soaking it in, and then
Yeah.
after they're like, "That was amazing! You were so funny."
Yeah, we've had that a number of times. People
Yeah.
just don't say anything, and they're like, "Wow, best night of my life."
I'm like,
would have been good to know.
like
would've been
during
great
the
during,
show.
yeah.
So like,
But
they're-
sometimes they just don't think you're funny. So
Yeah. And
there's
I
also
think-
that.
Yeah, and
Those
I
are the
think-
people you don't pay attention to. You sit them
Yeah,
at the
you
back
just
of
delete those ones from your memory.
Yeah.
That's the whole psychological wall thing that we'll talk about later.
Yeah. And it does come with the amount of experience as a comedian to sort of like get through that. Just like don't let that sort of like stumble you. It is a little bit like, oh, I just said my punchline and nothing happened.
Yeah.
But
moving on.
so you just
ASAP,
like kind of
totally.
breathe through it, and
Yeah.
then you pause and you keep going, and that's okay. Yeah.
And like the more comfortable you are, the more comfortable they are.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even if it's not going according to plan, like it's important that they think that you're okay.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they think that you're not okay, then they're
Oh,
not okay.
oh,
They're not
for
okay.
sure.
Like, they
Feel
need
the
to trust you,
tension.
even
Yeah.
if you're not doing that well.
That's why I find
hugely important.
Yeah, that's why I find open mics sometimes could be just hard to watch or tape because there's people that are just like brand new, first time on set on the stage, and so they're so nervous, and the audience just like gets so tense.
Yeah.
But then like a good open mic, like the producer will have a mix of people, newbies and
But
not
it's,
so
like, it's so
newbies.
important to remember that like the audience wants to have fun.
Yeah.
They want you to
Yeah.
do well.
Yeah.
They're rooting for you.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So even if you suck, like they want to be on your side. So like
Yeah.
it's even if it's not going well, you got to try to find a way to have fun. You know, there's this
Exactly.
just convince them that everything's fine.
Yeah, everything is so fine.
Even if it's not fine.
And then you're like sweating. Your mind is like, God,
You're
please
crying,
laugh.
like,
Yeah.
it's part of it. It's part
This
of
is
it.
part of my act. I cry hysterically.
I cry. Then
midway
I
through
run home with the speed of light.
You cry hysterically?
No,
Oh, God, I was going to be like, oh, my God.
No.
I've never cried on stage. I'll say that.
Oh, thank gosh, I haven't.
Imagine.
I mean,
oh,
No,
that's not comedy. That's
I am
not
a
comedy.
big crier. I'll make it work. If
I'll make
it
it
does
work,
happen,
yeah.
I'll make it work. I'll make it funny.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Turn it around.
Do you guys do more improv?
I don't like improv. I think improv is a tool to create and not something to put on a stage in front of people
Oh
who
my
pay.
gosh, I
Those are my
love
real
improv.
views.
I don't. I think it's amazing. Like,
I don't
I
like
mean,
it.
improv shows could either be very bad or
very good.
The
That's true.
most
Yeah.
magical thing you've ever
Yeah.
witnessed.
Yeah.
So I've been wanting to take more improv classes because I think it will help my comedy, and a lot
sure
of
it
comedians
is
do that.
help,
A lot
yeah.
of comedians actually start from improv and then they
That's the
move
thing is,
on.
I think
to
it's a great way to get comfortable and a great way to like hone your skills, but I don't think it's the thing that you take to the stage. You know.
But what if
Yeah.
you have no skills? What happens
Well,
to you then?
you know what? I guess it's
a
buy,
dead
buy a
end.
van and go on a road trip. I don't know.
Yeah.
Mow the
Discover
lawn.
yourself.
So guys, I believe laughter is the best medicine. Okay. What do you guys think about this idea and why?
I-
Have you heard of lorazepam? I'm kidding. No, it's laughter. I'm not on antidepressants.
Oh.
I just don't know how to take that right now. I just don't know how to take what just happened.
No, laughter's good.
Laughter helps everyone.
It does help. However, in this context,
I
Yes.
believe it does. I believe it does. And I think, like, to bring it back, with, like, lawn laughs after the pandemic,
Yeah,
we
lawn
all
laughs.
needed laughter. We
Yes.
all need joy
Totally.
to,
People
like,
have fun.
fill our souls.
yeah.
People need
And-
social experiences. You know, you need to be with others, laughing with other people. You feel good and you feel alive. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it, like Michelle said, it might not be the best medicine, but it's a fucking
Depending
good
on your
medicine.
situation.
Yeah.
Depending on your
If you have an
situation.
infection, perhaps antibiotics are the best medicine. But typically, psychologically, I would say that it's a good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
good medicine.
It's good medicine. It's
Oh, yeah.
fulfilling.
I mean, it definitely. I've had terrible days and like go on stage and I felt magnificent.
Oh, so much
after,
better, so
right?
much
So
better,
much
yeah,
better. Just
totally.
like shifts my entire fucking
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
To make it better. So like, and I think the audience members can agree. Like, they come to a show and they're definitely the dopamine is
Especially
up.
at a lawn last, because it is very much like I was saying. I was telling you guys before. When you're at somebody's home like that, and you're it's kind of an intimate event, but you don't really know them, but you have a purpose there. You're there to put on a show, and it's it almost always goes well. But I don't think we've had a bad one.
No.
But it's so much like being part of somebody else's family for a night,
Yeah.
and they're having such a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Especially after the pandemic, or after the pandemic. I don't know. Everyone's just like craving this intimate social experience,
Yeah.
So it's fun to be part of that, and I think to be able to laugh together in that setting where it is a little bit warmer and not so much like out in the world, like
Yeah.
it's very unique and it's so special. There's
Oh,
nothing like it.
there's
I
really
always go
nothing
home
like
because
it.
you feel so good. You're
Yeah.
driving home, you're like,
Sweet.
I've never been happier.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's the best medicine sometimes.
Yes.
But when let's say a family or let's say someone receives you, what do you expect? I mean, is everything set up for you? Do you set up?
we have no
what are these
expectation.
special? No, but what are the special stories? Because I know behind
Yeah.
the scenes there, you guys are telling me pretty interesting stories.
Yeah,
this
it's
is
been
awesome.
so amazing because they're so excited about us being there.
Oh, yeah.
And we're so excited about being there. But like it's
Yeah.
their space, so you want to kind of follow their lead. You don't want to impose. Like part of our agreement is that we're not going to be entering your home. Like Like we're not, no one's using your bathroom or anything like that. We're very much like
They pee on the lawn.
We pee on the lawn.
They pee on the
That's
lawn.
what lawn laughs is.
That's the personal
We pee on
rinse.
your lawn.
I put a porta potty in my house.
We just don't drink anything for 48 hours prior.
Oh God.
So we don't have expectations going in. The only thing we request specifically is access to an electrical outlet, and then an extension cord.
Yeah.
But every single show that we've had, whoever's
They've-
hired us has been such a gem. Like they've set something up for us, whether it be, we
Yeah.
had a green room one time. It was like a little private
Oh,
tent,
my.
and they
Yeah.
made sangria, and
Yeah.
like they had little snacks for us. Like it was amazing.
They inebriate you before
They get
you
you
go.
all
yeah,
crazy.
they-
Yeah, exactly.
They want us drunk. They're like,
They
these
can't
people
wait.
be funny or drunk. Let's
Oh
do it.
my gosh,
God.
we've been offered drinks every single
Oh,
time.
every
and we're
single-
like, we have to drive home.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
thank you.
Like a decent point.
Look at this.
Yeah, and like some hosts or the people that hire us, they also set up a stage. The last one we had, like a full-on stage they set up.
Oh, it was
like,
great. And they had a
platform.
cardboard cutout of Elvis. And
Yeah,
Justin
that was
Timberlake,
like-
and it was,
I don't. It was.
We were
they
in
bring
good
out this
company.
cardboard, like cutout of Elvis
Yeah.
and Justin Timberlake. I'm like, is this for
Sweet.
parties? Like, I just didn't. But it
Why do
added
they
to
have it? I don't
Yeah.
think they bought it for us, but I'm not gonna push the matter.
Yeah. It's a little odd. Awkward.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
But like, yeah, it's been really cute. They
been so
really they
much
set up
fun.
like a space for because they
They're
want it.
so
They want
inviting.
they
Yeah.
want to
So
have a
much
good
fun.
time and they want their guests to have a good time and they just so they're just they welcome us with open arms and it's
Yeah.
just been incredible.
It
Oh,
feels
that
so good. It feels so good.
Yeah.
I love doing it. It's very
You can
unique.
interpret that any way you want. That
Feels
it feels
so
so good.
good.
So good. Guys, or girls, rather. I keep saying guys because I see three of them in front of us, but we can take them on because we're three.
That's true. Like a black belt.
Ooh.
That would take it on me too.
Just wait.
That's the fuck show.
Oh, sorry.
His mind is in the gutter.
Trust me. That's another talk it out.
Oh boy.
So
One
where
thing
do
at a
you
time.
girls see yourselves in 10 years?
Oh wow.
Hopefully, still right here talking to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can talk. We did this forever. I think
I-
we have all year, all life, all 10 years.
Oh, summer.
10 years. Double vaxxed.
Touche.
You
I
go first. I don't know.
yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, everyone's comedy career is like, develops in a different way. I would just love to be a comedian that everyone knows and loves. I definitely would love that. I definitely love producing shows. I definitely want my shows to be on a bigger platform.
Sure.
I want Law and Laughs to be on a bigger
Yes,
platform. I
absolutely.
want them to know Abby Stonehouse the comedian.
Nice.
Yeah. Netflix, baby.
Netflix.
Or
the way to
HBO. I think they pay more. Whatever.
That's funny.
How about you, Michelle?
Oh boy. I think I gotta go.
No, there's no washroom here.
Michelle's having an anxiety.
I'm having an existential crisis. I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. It's my birthday in like a couple weeks, and I'm
Nice.
like, that's as far as I thought. I'll be 26, and like I don't see a day past that.
I've been 18 forever.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. Don't plan ahead. Just see what happens.
Yeah.
Live life.
I do definitely have high hopes for Law and Laughs developing into something bigger.
Yeah.
So I think we have a lot of fun right now, and I love the intimacy of it. But I'm very curious to see what we're going to be able to do with it. All year, even with the winter, it's not really conducive to outdoor shows. But I think that we're gonna. This fall, I think Abby and I are going to be having a little sit down, and hashing out whatever the future looks like.
Oh yeah.
10 years is a very long time.
How about 5?
5? What year is it?
We're ending 20. No, we're not
I
ending
love
20.
producing. I have a lot of. I love performing. Don't get me wrong, but I think for me it takes a lot out of me in terms of like the build up. Like I get quite stressed on when I have a show, so I can't. As much as I enjoy it, I think I anticipate more producing.
Okay.
Because it's less stressful and I'm good at it. So I like
Michelle's
doing that. It's very
fantastic
much
at it.
on paper. I can do it all.
Yeah.
So I think moving forward, Law and Laughs, I have high hopes for. Shakespeare in the Park?
Yes.
I love the idea of Lawn Laughs becoming something like that, where it's like a bigger scale outdoor thing.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. That's what
We're
I'm
gonna
looking
make
at.
it happen.
And in the winter, we're just Lawn Laughs. Everybody bring your own snowsuit.
Yes.
And
Why
sled.
not?
Yeah, we'll just couple with, what is it, Igloo Fest? We'll, just,
Yeah.
we'll do like a show.
And
Yeah.
each igloo.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's it.
We'll show up at your home 5
Yeah.
days before, start building that igloo.
Garage laughs. Which would be like in people's garage.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Capacity 3.
That's it. 2 meters apart.
Must be heated.
2 meters apart, and yeah, I don't think there's a green room in there, but you know.
No green room.
It's okay. The comedians can sit in my car.
Yeah. With the heating on.
Wait to go on.
How do you guys prepare though for one of these things?
We rent the equipment.
Yeah.
For starters. We book the lineup. Okay.
I meant
Let's
how
just
you
take it
guys mentally prepare.
Yeah. So
Okay,
we get
mentally.
Yeah, mentally.
people reach out.
Minus
to
the
us.
medicine.
Yeah. Oh, whoa.
Well, people reach out to us to book. I mean, they really our momentum really grew because of Facebook. We have our Facebook page, and the ads on there just like people just are very attracted to our concept, and we talk to them and they hire us, and that's when we get the ball rolling, and we pick a lineup for that show, we get the equipment, and then we show up. It's very, very simple.
It's very simple, but mentally, you mean, eh?
Yeah, I meant like, how do you prepare? Like,
To get
let's
on
say you
stage?
know
Oh,
you're going on
to get on
stage.
stage.
I dissociate.
I see them all in their underwear.
Yeah. I don't. I spend a lot of the day making sure that I know what it is that I plan on doing, and being comfortable enough with it that I can diverge from that if I need to. And then probably like 2 hours before I get on stage, I completely stop thinking about it, and I delete it all. And then when I get up there, there's like a moment of panic, I think, as I'm approaching the stage, where I'm like, I am gonna die. I'm gonna die. And then once you have the microphone and you say like your first word, you're just in it. You're just ready to go. So you gotta rely on that moment where you're like, I'm here, or it's too late now. You can't cancel
turn
now.
back.
And then I just have the best time ever. So
Right.
I definitely experienced some anxiety. I mean, I guess like the hours leading up to the show, I make sure that I have my set list. I write it down, and I sort of like, there's certain like points that I just like refresh in my brain. And then like I definitely have like pre-show like jitters and anxiety. Like that's definitely I don't know a comedian that doesn't have that. They're a psychopath if they don't. No.
They're not human beings.
They're not humans.
Yeah. But I find for me, once I get on stage, I get this level, this like
Weird
in this
calm.
state of clarity, and then I'm just like, oh, I've got this.
Yeah.
And so I definitely.
But if there's a moment, sometimes I find this happens. Like I think this has happened to me one time very early on, where you know exactly what you want to do. You're up there, you're doing it, everything's going super well, and at one point your brain just like disconnects, and you're like, oh shit. What am I supposed to say next? And you have to like find yourself in this weird panic, and you gotta fix it immediately.
Oh my god.
That's the most stress you can feel.
Oh yeah, it's quite stressful, but I feel like any comedian, no matter like where they are in their career, there is always that moment, just like, oh shit, what was I gonna say? Because the comedians are always developing their material, they're always trying new stuff. So like it's unheard of if you remember every little thing.
Especially after the pandemic, it's like a year and a
Oh
half
my
of
gosh.
not going on stage. Like my whole thing with getting back on stage is like, do I even know my own jokes? I have to revisit the videos and the writing and just like relearn all of it.
There's so many jokes that I do not remember, and I'll look
Just
back in my
retire them.
notebook and I'm like, oh my god, that joke killed. Why am I not saying that anymore?
Totally.
And like, so it's just been a huge process, and also developing material that kind of fit the atmosphere now.
Yeah,
like you don't
topical stuff. You want to address the truth. You know?
Yeah, you don't want to like completely ignore the fact that like we've been all inside for a year and a half.
Yeah,
that's right.
But then you also want to like you don't want to
harp
hone
on
in
it.
on it because it can be like fucking depressing.
Yeah,
Totally.
exactly.
I try to like address certain realities off the top, and then just like completely go into whatever I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Because you can't like, it's the beauty of live comedy is also the fact that it is very much like, it is live, you know what I mean? And it's not an actor performing a monologue. Like, it's very much somebody saying what they think. So you do want them to be addressing the realities of the world that we're in, but you don't want to harp on it. You know, you don't want to get stuck on it. Like, we've been hearing about the pandemic for so long. Like, I'll address it in like one sentence, like ha ha ha, oh, the pandemic, and then I'm moving on. You know what I mean?
And like in general, I think the audience wants to hear like your experience. If you have a unique experience with the pandemic, I think that is I've seen other comedians do and has worked, but like definitely, I think everyone's sick sick of talking about it. But it has developed some good material. I have seen a lot of comedians that like have developed some good sets or jokes because of it. Because I mean, we were alone with our thoughts, and
it was dangerous for me. That it was very dangerous for me. Yeah.
I think it was dangerous for all of us. Yeah, for sure.
We got the bunny ears.
What is the bunny ear?
I think that's 2 minutes.
I don't know how to take that. That's another show. Oh my God, what are you doing, man?
Isn't the bunny ears? Is that a sex toy? Am I crazy?
No, it's true.
Is it? I'm sorry, I don't.
It is.
What?
It actually is.
Bunny ears is a sex toy, is it not?
Talking about sex toys.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
There is the rabbit.
The rabbit. Yeah. I don't know. I don't own a sex toy.
I mean, I'm the
well,
professional
thanks for
here.
qualifying,
talk
Michelle.
about this.
That's very awkward now.
Nice.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
And now we're going to tell you where you can find them.
Oh yeah, I have a discount code. Just follow me
Just send
and
it to me
message
later.
me, and I'll give it to you.
There you go.
20% off at pinkcherry.com.
Oh, that's
I'm
at the
kidding. I
fucking
have
show.
no discount code. Please
Do you really
contact
not?
me.
I
but
thought
no.
you did. I thought you actually did. I was kind of
I can
excited.
maybe get one.
You had me convinced. You had me totally convinced. I have to be honest.
Oh boy.
Okay, no, really, where we can find you? Like where?
Oh yeah. Go ahead, Abby.
Okay. So for Lawn Laughs, it's at Lawn Laughs Comedy on Facebook. You can find all of our contact information there.
Perfect.
Lawnlaughs@gmail.com if that's more your vibe. Just to email us to inquire things. And you can find me, Abby Stonehouse, at AbbyPStone_MTL on all social media platforms, and follow Get Fucked on Get Fucked Show.
I will.
Yeah,
No kidding.
yeah. And
So
Michelle has other shows
awkward.
too. You
I
should
have
come-
a show.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you do?
I do. Yeah. We won't talk about it for now. I guess.
No,
it's,
no,
plug the
talk
date.
about
I'll-
it.
Yeah.
We're out of time. I'm nervous.
No. Pretend you're
you
doing
have
a
one
comedy
coming up.
routine.
You
I have one coming up. So I'm the co-producer of a show called Comedy Confessional, and it's at McKibben's on Bishop. It's the upstairs room at that McKibben's. So it's me and my co-producer Ben Cardilli, and we that was a monthly comedy show before the pandemic. We're back now, and we're it's now going to be bi-weekly. And we have our first one on July 25th.
Sweet.
And doors are at 7 p.m. and show is at 8 p.m. and you can buy tickets online at eventbrite.ca.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's called
It's
Comedy
the killer-
Confessional. It's
killer
a great.
lineup.
We have a killer lineup.
Fucking
Just
phenomenal.
killer.
Capital K.
Absolutely. And then my own social media. Don't
Nobody-
look me up. Do
Go
not.
to Abby.
My name is Michelle Dominique. Or Dominic,
Or
I
Dominic,
guess.
whatever
Depends-
way.
It's not my last name. Never mind. Dominique is my middle name. I'll just leave it at that.
Louis looks perplexed.
Yeah, well, you should be. There's a reason I did this. Not criminal. So my Instagram is michelle.dominique, and you can follow me there. You can follow Comedy Confessional at Comedy Confessional. And it's the same thing on Facebook for both. So don't add me, but feel free to look at my profile.
You can add me. I'm more friendly.
You can add me. I'm nice, okay?
I'm more friendly than Michelle. It's
Oh
fine.
my.
Okay.
I don't know how to take that. This is very awkward. Again, I don't know how to take that. So, if somebody wants to book Lawn Laughs or any one of your projects, what do they do? Is
So
there
if it's Lawn Laughs specifically, I would
Yeah.
say you can email us at lawnlaughs@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Or you can go to our Facebook page, Lawn Laughs, and you can find our contact information there. So we have our phone numbers up there, and then you can also just message the Facebook page directly if you like. For other shows, I mean, you can message Get Fucked directly, or you can message Abby, and for Comedy Confessional, you can message me, or you can message Ben Cardilli, or you can message the page, Comedy Confessional, but Lawn Laughs being the focus,
Yes.
go there first.
Yeah, go there
We'll
first.
deal with the rest
You want
later.
you don't want to leave your home.
You don't want to leave your
You
home.
don't want to leave your home.
We want to come to your home.
with all
That's
this.
what we're saying.
With all all this humor, like, don't miss out.
Yeah. We'll bring Lisa too, so it'll be like a trifecta.
Yeah. Lisa will
We'll bring
host
the
for
rum
us.
and cokes.
Yeah,
Yeah, Lisa will serve our drinks for us.
There you go. I'm not hosting people. I'm not the opening person because I have no sense of humor. I'm like as flat as a crouton, and they're not flat. And they're not flat. Look at that. I improv,
flat
and
as
it
a
made no
crouton.
sense, right?
It's flat as a crouton. That'll be the catchline.
Flat
for
as
this.
a crouton.
So there you go. I will never headline, and I'm definitely not a comedian.
But like you said, we can improve
Can
our
I
skills.
use that line? I'm flat as a crouton. I'm not.
Flat
I'm
as
not.
a crouton.
See, this
That'll
is
be
the
our
going
hashtag.
joke for the rest of the
That'll be
night.
our hashtag for this live show.
Yeah,
Flat as a
flat as a
crouton.
Hey, guys.
I can't
That was
breathe.
mine.
We'll tag you.
Not even like a flat as
my
a pita
God.
bread. Go with
Flat
that.
as a crouton.
You know, I'm not a pita bread fan.
Objectively not flat. Croutons.
Well, it depends. If you sit on them, they crush.
I guess.
They become powder.
Okay.
Cool. Flat as a crouton. I wish we had croutons.
Oh my God. They're telling us it's
He's
like
telling you,
It's
wrap
over, eh?
go
We're
mow his
done.
lawn.
up.
Guys,
down.
guys, thank you so much for watching.
Oh, boy.
And I'm sorry if any of you got hurt during this
I'm
podcast.
sorry to all the croutons that we offended.
And the
Sorry,
flat
the
ones,
neighbors.
and the not so flat ones.
Yeah.
So, guys, have a fantastic night. Thank you so much for tuning in with Abby and Michelle, Dominique. It doesn't matter. They are awesome lawn laughs. Guys, check it out. Book them. Hire them. You won't be disappointed. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good
Bye.
night.